Hey guys, welcome back to the KR Moto channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review on all the mods that I put on my CB500F. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so this is one of the things that I did purchase probably about, I'd say about a year after I bought my bike, and I should have bought one a long time ago. This is the built motorcycle cover. This is for a small bike. So as you know, the CB500F, it is a small bike. So small street naked bike, street fighter, I love it. But anyways, I think this thing set me back at about $30. They do go on sale. I think I found one for there the other day when I went to Cycle Gear. I found one for $19.99 because of after Christmas sales. But this does cover the bike. As you can see, it covers it pretty good. And then underneath here, you have holes. I don't got mine strapped because I do take my cover off time to time, but you have a hole here, and then you have this little hook here that does this number, and it will hold it tight to the bike like so. But I do recommend on purchases one of these, if you're going to leave it outside or whatever, you do want to have some kind of covering. Like I said, it covers the whole bike. It's pretty thin, so if you do leave it outside, beware of cats, because they get on your bike, they can tear this thing, and it can rip pretty easy. But this will keep the rain, it'll keep it dry, and it'll keep the dust off of it if you're going to keep it undercover in the garage or a carport. And I'm just going to go over the mods that I've done to this thing. And a couple days ago, I put a Givy or a GV windscreen on this thing, and I'm pretty sure, well, if you guys looked it up on YouTube with the Givy or the GV for the CB500F. I'll put this over here. My garage is a mess, so please excuse that. It's been very cold out here in Oregon. But so this is a 2018 CB500F, and I'm going to go over everything that I've done to it as far as mods and aftermarket parts, as well as the bike cover and the tank bag and all that stuff that I got for Christmas that I'm excited about. So basically, this bike is pretty much stock, and what I've done to it, I put a fender eliminator kit on the back of the bike. I did a video of that as well. eBay. I can't remember which one I got, but I got the fender eliminator kit for the CB500F. The next thing I bought is I bought a slip-on from Kaufman, and these were, sorry, before I get started with that, I think that fender eliminator kit was $79 or $69 or something like that, and you just use all your hardware. Pretty easy to install. If you don't want to install one or on your own bike or whatever, I'm sure that you can get somebody or take it to a shop and have them install it if you have the money. So, but basically, this whole exhaust system is stock except for the slip-on. Still has the cat on it. That slip-on from Kaufman cost me $190, I believe. I bought the blue one. You can take the baffle in and out of this. I have, if you guys can see that big large hole there, I took the baffle out. I did a video on this as well, and if you want, you can look that up. And then what I did is I changed the levers. These are just like an eBay lever that I got. I think they were $30. They're pretty cheap. The bike goes down, the leverage brake, not too concerned about it. You can get whatever type of style lever that you want. I tried to get the I think the gold ones or the blue ones or whatever, they didn't have them. They just had this black one with these red things on here, which they're adjustable, as you can see, and they work real well. I haven't had any problems with them. And then I did install this phone holder up here as well. Got this at Cycle Gear, I think $29.99. And the other thing I did is I changed the mirrors on this thing. I did not like the original mirrors that they had on the bike. They were too like old school for me, and but they were too old school for me. I'll unlock this, set this forward. They were more of like a round, and so I did change the mirror. I got a little bit better view with these. These also were aftermarket eBay. I think they were, I want to say $16, so pretty cheap. The next thing that I got was the Givy or Givy or whatever you want to call it. I did a video on this just a few days ago. You guys can check it out. It's a windscreen. They make one, a Puig, and they make the Givy. I like the Givy a little bit better because it sits more closer to the headstock. As you can see, it follows the lines in the front right here. It's the smoke one. I like the smoke up against the blue, so I went with that. The clear, I mean, you can obviously you can see through the smoke real easy because it comes up to your chest and it directs the air up over the top of the shoulders. It does, the wind will still hit you in the head a little bit, but this will eliminate all the air from hitting you in the chest and the shoulders and then tiring out your arms when you're riding. So I don't think I'm going to be doing anything other than probably sometime soon before I start riding or in the middle of riding this thing when it warms up a little bit and I have time. I'm going to take it down and I'm going to have them put new tires on it, and I'm going to probably go with the Road 5s. They're a really good tire. But these are the original tires that were on the bike when I bought it. And my bike has 1,467 miles. When I'm storing this during the wintertime, I do start the bike because after a while your clutch sitting there, all the oil drains pretty much down in the pan, so you have the level here and it drops down a little more, and then you got your clutch right here, so you only have about that much of your clutch that's actually in there that's getting oil to it. And if they've been sitting a long time, they dry out, the pads in there will crack, they can break off, and then you can have a problem. So warm your bike up, that's what I do. And just also keep the battery maintained. I bought a battery floater, a battery maintainer from Harbor Freight. They're cheap. You can see it right here, battery maintainer. Got it plugged in here. And most of the time I leave it plugged in. But yeah, this quick connect. And these things come with like different ends, so you can plug them, actually hook them to a battery. Easy to plug in. It's right there. That's all it takes. Turn this on. Gets a red light. It should go green in a few minutes because this battery's been charging, but please invest in one of those. They're real cheap. And the light just turned green. They're real cheap, and it will keep your battery maintained over the winter time. You don't have to worry about it because these batteries should relatively last about 3 or 4 years from what I've been told. This battery here has a 1201 anti-gravity in it. It's 660 cold cranking amps. I spent a lot of money on that, so I have a floater charger for this as well, and it sits right there. So I think I've pretty much covered everything on this. This is basically what I have. This is a daily rider for me. I love this bike. I've had this thing up to, I think, as far as fuel mileage goes and riding, I think I've gotten 63 miles out of a gallon out of it. The motor still it's breaking in and everything. I have changed the oil on it. The oil is clean. Reflushed the radiator and just put new coolant in it. I checked the brakes. The only thing I need to do is I probably should change the fork oil. I think you're supposed to do that every year or so, but other than that, that's basically what I've done to my bike. I thought about putting a power commander in this, and you kind of go back and forth on the opinions on that, because basically what a power commander is for, once you change your exhaust, if you put a whole exhaust system on this thing without the cat on it and change the exhaust and put a new air filter in there like a K&N or whatever, so the computer basically what it's doing is it's causing the bike to run hot, so it's running too much fuel into the system, and you need that power commander to adjust that. These newer bikes like this one, I do not believe, as far as the research that I've done on it, a power commander ain't going to do shit to this bike. Even if you change the exhaust, you know, like I did a slip-on. Most of the time with a slip-on, you don't have to mess with any of it. It's just other people's opinion, my opinion. I don't think it'll really do anything as far as horsepower or make it run any different. Maybe later on down the road, I'll put a whole new exhaust system on this thing and take the cat off. But really, you know, for 471cc parallel twin with, I think these things are 49 or 47 horsepower or something like this, is a really nice bike. It's a commuter bike. This thing can go on the freeway. The only bitch that I have about it is that the wind, and that's why I bought the windscreen for it. Those windscreens are about $130, and you can get them at revzilla.com, or you can look somewhere else to try to find them cheaper. But that one was a little harder to find than the Puig, and I just like this one, this Givy, better than the Puig because it fit the bike better for my liking. So other than that, there has been no other upgrades on this bike. I've probably spent roughly, let's see, 2, 3, 39, 29, 29, and 79. So I spent probably, I've got roughly maybe $500 into this thing with all the upgrades. And this thing's been a great bike. I've had absolutely no problems with it starting. At first, when I bought the bike, there was a check engine light to come on, and I don't know what that was, but it has not done it since. So these are a great commuter bike. They're a great starter bike for anybody that's getting into riding. They're very reliable, and had no problems with it at all whatsoever. Even for a seasoned rider as myself, this thing is great. I love this bike. I've had this thing up. People go back and forth on the top speed on this thing. It can, the fastest I've had this bike up to is 101 miles an hour. And it's very short geared. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're in 6th gear, and it's real quick. A lot of torque off the line. It's pretty fast off the line. It just gets there real soon. Gets you up to 60 miles an hour pretty fast. This bike probably weighs wet 423 pounds, I think is what they said. Yeah. Other than that, great commuter bike, great for a seasoned rider. I cannot get in trouble with this thing except if I get caught wheeling. And I don't do too much of that anymore because I got caught already by a couple of police officers, and I do not recommend doing that to anybody out on the street. You do whatever you're going to do on your own. Just don't do what I do. But anyways, yeah, this is my review. There's lots of rides on this bike if you want to look back at my videos, but this is my upgrades and my review that I've done to my bike. And so anyways, if you guys like my video and you learned some, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and please leave a comment. Anyways, we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.